Hello all, welcome back to Consciousness Rising. These videos that I'm putting together in the main body of my work, as I always say, they're my offerings. I gift them for free, I don't want nothing for them. And I recognise that it is my duty at my level of awareness to share what I know. This is my wisdom. I'm taking action in the world. I'm putting these together for your consideration. And as I have said before, you don't have to believe a word I say. Use these videos if they've inspired you in any way. Go and do the further research that I've done. Read the books, find the documentaries. There's so much to uncover, but the truth is always simple, and that's what I'm trying to prove in these videos, and I'm trying to break things down in a very easy to digest way. And if you're new to my work, coming in at episode 15 might not be the best unless you've got a lot of prerequisite knowledge in these areas. So I thoroughly recommend that you go back to the beginning and start from episode 1. The rabbit hole gets deeper and deeper each time I do a video. Okay, this one is on the occult. Now, as an interesting experiment, I asked a few people in my family on, to give me the word or whatever to come to their head when I said the word occult. And I would highly recommend that you do this with people because words have been used against us. We don't even know the real meaning of a lot of words. And I got some really interesting responses. No one was correct, not one person. I got given the word the devil. They thought the occult meant that it's to do with devil worship. Now, there is a side of it that might be, but that's not the meaning of the word occult at all. I got given the word evil, which actually, I would say that's probably, if you went out into a load of people and you said, out of 10 people, if you said to them, give me the meaning of the word or what you think the word occult means, I guarantee 9 out of 10 will say the word evil. And it's nothing of the sort. So that's what this video is going to be on. And, sometimes I do interesting experiments like this. I often use my family and I ask them questions about different things, and the occult was one of them. And I also asked them about objective morality, but that's for another video. We'll talk about that in another time. But people have no idea. They've been so indoctrinated. So yeah, episode 15 is on the occult. Now, the occult explained. This is an area, as I've said at the top, where so many people fall short. They may have knowledge in many areas, including conspiracy, science, spirituality, etc. However, most fall short on their knowledge of the occult, especially natural law. Natural law, when I come to talk about it, which hopefully will be my next video, is the most occulted piece of knowledge. It's the most hidden piece of knowledge, which is what occult means. And it is the key that unlocks all the locks, as I explained before in my little rant that I did the other day. Natural law is the one true key to freedom, and that's why they don't want you to know it. Okay, so what does occult mean? The word occult is derived from the Latin adjective occultus, which means hidden, which comes from the Latin verb occultare, which means to hide, to conceal, or to keep secret. Thus, what the occult truly is hidden knowledge. Okay? And, you will find very quickly that so much knowledge has been hidden from humanity to keep us enslaved, to keep us unaware of who we are, and to not ask questions and to just go along, get along. That's what it is. That's all it means. It just means hidden knowledge. And yeah, there are some dark aspects of it. Knowledge, it's just a tool. How you use that knowledge is down to the consciousness of the individual wielding it. You can use it for light, like I'm trying to do by presenting these videos, or you can use it for darkness to keep people in perpetual slavery. And that's what's been going on for a long time now on this planet. But it's, thank goodness, sometimes, there are a lot of people out there exposing things now, so it's good. That's all it means, hidden knowledge. Beautifully presented by the tarot. One of the occult sciences that I'm into is the tarot. I'm really into the tarot. It's beautifully pictorial, and the occult, as I've said there, consists of mainly of two bodies of knowledge. The first one is the knowledge of the microcosm, and the second is the knowledge of the macrocosm. Now, what they basically are, as presented there in the card's 0, which is the Fool card, that represents human consciousness. The Fool, you often hear path of the Fool. Well, that card represents us on our soul journey, just starting out, with our naivety going over there. I'll break down tarot in a separate series, but and then the second card there, card 21 in the major arcana is the World, which represents natural law, or the laws of the universe. Okay, that's what those two cards represent. They basically represent the two bodies of knowledge that the occult represents, which is knowledge of the microcosm, which is the knowledge of your consciousness, human consciousness, and how it works. And the second part is the World card, which represents knowledge of the macrocosm, which is the laws of the universe, how the universe works, which is often called natural law. I call it natural law. Some people call it cosmic law, universal law of karma. They're all the same thing, basically, but beautifully presented there by the tarot. And in fact, when I'm thinking about doing a whole series on the tarot, and I'll break down each card in the deck and what it represents for me, because symbols are very, very important. Okay. Hidden knowledge held by the few and ignorance of the masses. It's hierarchical. It works in a pyramid on the left there. The one main problem in the world that we have is that a few dark occultists, and they are dark occultists, they have hidden knowledge on human consciousness and the natural laws of the universe, and they wield this knowledge against the masses through mind control tactics. That's why, before I did this video, I've laid out some of the big guns in the mind control field. I want you to understand how your consciousness is being directed by these people, these dark occultists, because that's what it is. Okay, and even in structures that you have played in your life, like even when you go to work, you will notice that, say like you have a management team at the top of the pyramid, they always have more knowledge than the people at the bottom, the people doing the job. I've worked in a few places, and it's the same. This cycle is repeated everywhere, and it's the same with humankind and these nutcases that basically have wielded these two pieces of knowledge against us for years and years. Okay, and they do it through mind control, which is something I've been covering, and it always works like that. It's like a pyramid. The ignorance of the masses at the bottom, and the hidden knowledge held by the few. Well, no knowledge should be hidden. I'm sorry, it shouldn't. And if anything we should do is we have to bring all this to light so we can work with it in a positive way, and use these sciences to help better mankind and our planet and our universe. So that's how it works. Okay. Most people, as I said in my last rant, they don't even have the ability to question the narratives they are given day to day, because they sit in front of that tell, lie, vision, or tell a vision. Yeah, listen to words, break down words, it's really interesting. Every factor of human life has been engineered by these dark occultists to keep people in fear and ignorance. Every single facet of your life, from cradle to grave, is controlled. Think about it. Really think about that. Because this system that they've set up, it works brilliantly, unless you break free of it, like I've done, and many others are doing. Yeah, it's like a conveyor belt there. That's why I use that top meme. Absolutely no idea. Go through public education, get brainwashed, and then you sit in front of your telly for hours on a day just listening to the propaganda. And if you can't see that in the world at the moment, you only have to switch on one news channel about this COVID-19 stuff, and if you can't see the brainwashing, well, then there's no hope for you. And some people, I'm starting to learn now that I don't know if there is hope for some of these people, because they're so indoctrinated. I spoke about that before, didn't I? This slide, this is not my slide, this is Mark Passio's slide. It's one of the most powerful slides I've ever seen, because this explains how our reality is built. Right, and I might use the mouse here just to explain, because it goes from bottom to top. Okay, so at the bottom there, this also explains the trivium, which is knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. First we take in knowledge. Okay, if that knowledge is bad, you are not going to get good understanding, which means you are not going to have good wisdom, which is action. Remember, I keep talking about wisdom being action. I'll get to that bit in a minute, the top bit there. So at the bottom, the available information, or lack of, This constitutes potential knowledge that may be gathered, processed, understood, and acted upon by individuals. Now, if you block people off from good knowledge, you then muddy their understanding. See how this works? If you have good knowledge, you have good understanding, and therefore you would become a moral human being. That's where natural law comes in. Okay. The second part is the understanding, or lack thereof. Decision-making processes. These processes take place in the human mind and are chosen by each individual based upon available information. Okay? See how it works? Then, the next stage is the wisdom, which I always say is action, or lack thereof. Human behaviour. That's what this represents. Each individual's behaviour is based upon the quality of their decision-making processes, see, which in turn are based upon the quality of the available information. It works like this. Then, the last step is your manifested reality, your generated result. Is it order or is it chaos? And anyone that looks around at the moment and thinks we have a state of order, you're lying to yourself. You are in a complete ignorant state. We have chaos. And this is why. I'm explaining to you why. So the last step is manifested reality. The quality of the condition which manifests in any society is based upon the aggregate quality of human behaviour within that society. Now what aggregate means is, and you've heard me talk about 51% a lot, if you take the planet as a whole, you need 51% to be the tipping point to change the manifested reality. And that's why the bottom bit, knowledge or that thereof, the most important piece to that puzzle, knowledge, well, there's two bits, I think. First, you've got to know yourself. Know thyself. As I said in episode 1, and that's why so many of my previous videos have been on knowledge of self. And I've showed you how to rewrite your program through EFT. I'm going to do more of that in the future. So knowledge of self, and then knowledge of the universe. Now, the only piece of knowledge you really, really need there is natural law. What governs your behaviour? It is completely objective. It is not subjective. It's the law of the universe. When everyone knows that, has understanding of it, and then acts in accordance with, which is the wisdom part, the manifested reality will change. Until then, it's not going to. Ever. Ever. And no saviour is going to come along and change it. We have to do this as an aggregate. We have to do this together. We have to know natural law. It's so important. So that is one of the most powerful slides I've ever seen. And what is the generated result at the moment? You know, if you can't see what's going on in this planet, the war machine, it's been raging since, well, cast your mind back to your whole life. There's always money for war, isn't there? Okay? Because that keeps that aggregate number down. Because war goes against natural law. These people want you to live in opposition to natural law because that keeps their control in place. These are order followers, these scumbags. No morality at all. They haven't questioned a thing. Police and military, you know, just going along because it's my job and I don't question anything. That's a dead inside human being. You know, they've given up their sovereignty. They've given up their spirituality, their soul, if you like, because they're not making the right choice. And they don't have the right to take human life. But I'm going to talk about that a lot more in natural law. So the occult is hidden knowledge. And this is what we're getting. Because it's been so occulted for years. That's why this is key. Especially natural law, as I said. And the reason for that is most people are that. You know, films are beautiful allegories. I'm going to do a video soon where I recommend some movies. And for you to look at them with the eyes of the sage, you know. Look at the messages being portrayed in these movies, not just as the piece that they are. I recently rewatched the Matrix trilogy, which is one of the most spiritual allegories of our time. But yeah, the average person, as portrayed in these things like Walking Dead, Night of the Living Dead, you know, all these old zombie films, that's what they're representing. They're representing the dumbed down, ignorant masses because of their lack of knowledge, which then generated the result that we're seeing in our world, which is tyranny and chaos. So that's all the occult is. And hopefully I'll delve deeper and deeper into it as I go. The next video hopefully will be natural law. I'm going to break that down. Then I've got one more after that, which is going to be the root cause, because I haven't given you the full root cause yet in human psychology. Then after that, my videos will get a lot more loose. I'm going to focus a lot on EFT and go back to that and show you how to rewrite the programs that you've picked up from people who didn't know any better. All your negative programs need to be rewritten. You have to do shadow work. So you step out of this mess of being a zombie. You know? Anyway, that's enough for today. Take care, guys. See you in the next one.